going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Yash Talks Football, and this is a video that I've been dreading to make, and it's not to do with Arsenal being in the final. Even though I wanted that to be the case, when we got PSG in the semi-final, I wanted to be in the final. However, we didn't get there. We bottled it, and I've got to watch my two ops, if you could put it that way, in a European final when my team are just out here drowning, and not a lot of people have woken up to that yet. But Tottenham versus Man United in a Europa League final in Bilbao, I have to witness one of these teams win a European trophy and win a trophy before Arsenal, in the time that Arteta has been in charge. And to be fair, if you was to ask me what's worse, Tottenham for me, because they've not won anything. Well, they won something when I was about 2 years old. That was I think that was the Worthington Cup at the time, or the Carling Cup. I don't know what it was called back then, but the equivalent of the Carabao Cup now. They won that in 2008 against Chelsea. That was the last time they actually won anything. When it comes to actually a major honour, I don't think it was like the 80s where they won this exact same competition. Or I think they were one of the first teams to win it as well, I'm pretty sure, when the competition was called the UEFA Cup. And obviously Manchester United have had a history of scamming trophies, in recent history anyway. Since Fergie left, they won the FA Cup, Carabao Cup. They could potentially make it 3 trophies in the 3 seasons, which have been their worst in their history. All sorts of records have been broken by Manchester United in these past 3 years, even from the likes of the 7-0 to their worst home record ever, to their worst Champions League campaign ever, to their worst goal difference tally ever, to even now, which is going to happen, their worst league position finish ever in the Premier League era, because they'll finish either 16th or 17th, whatever way around that them two clubs finish. They're going to be down below, and it's not a good. It's funny to see that, but then at the same time, I did think Bilbao would beat them. To be fair, I thought all the teams would beat them. Well, I thought they would get past Lyon. I was hoping they wouldn't, but then when we saw that they were 4-2 down, you thought, right, they can't salvage this back, and then they did. I expected more from Real Sociedad, but United showed better quality throughout that whole tie. And then to be fair, Bilbao, I was baffled that they even got to the second leg with that much of a lead, because in that first half, it all went wrong for Athletic Bilbao, and Man United just switched it on. But to be fair, you can't really fault that, because they scored 3 goals, and then they obviously packed them in at Old Trafford. But yeah, that's sort of Man United's part. Tottenham, they've had just as bad of a season. However, one thing that separates Tottenham and Man United is that Tottenham can score goals. They still have, I'm pretty sure, I think it is a +2 goal difference they currently have, because they conceded a lot of goals, but to be fair, whenever they lose, it's always by a couple 1 to 2 goal margin. But they have scored goals this season, which is crazy, because if you look at their attack, and this is one thing where I do credit Ange Postecoglou for all that is worth, is that he can get a tune out of shit players and in attack. You can get a tune out of Brendan Johnson. You can get a tune out of Finnish Son. Solanke, to be fair, I think Solanke's a decent player. Timo Werner, we know how crap he is. And then also, they've got one more, Tell, who I don't really particularly rate, but from what I've been hearing from Tottenham fans, he's actually been alright the past few games. And yeah, they're route to the final. They got past Bodo Glimt to the semi, Frankfurt, which I was surprised at, and I can't quite remember who they had in the round of 16. I think it was AZ Alkmaar, I'm pretty sure, which I thought they would go out to them as well. But those are the 2 teams in the European final. Sorry, we're not saying semi-final. 16th and 17th in the Premier League have a chance to win a European trophy. And like I said, I've got to watch one of these 2 win it, which it'll be bad to watch, but it'll be bad to watch if either of them win it. But I would, if I had to pick one way to die, I would rather it be Man United, because I can't handle Tottenham winning a trophy, man. Like, the amount of times that we laughed at winning, and to be fair, we're basically the Red Tottenham. under Mikel Arteta, but I can't see them lift anything after the season they had. But yeah, I'm gonna go with a score prediction. I think Manchester United will win the final. That's not really out of hope. I genuinely think they will. I think they've got too many players that have been there before. Tottenham players, I can only think of really James Maddison that won the FA Cup with Leicester, and probably Romero, but I'm not even sure he'll be fit to play. I think he will anyway, because he won the World Cup. Apart from that, I can't think of many players that have done much for, without won anything really. And to be fair, this year has been the year of breaking trophies. Whereas Palace won their first major trophy. Well, I say major, I don't really count the FA Cup as a major. They won, Newcastle won their first trophy in about 70 years. Harry Kane won his first trophy. Bologna won their first trophy as well, in God knows how long. And I think, can't remember, there was one more team, I can't quite remember. I think, was it Go Ahead Eagles? I think it might have been Go Ahead Eagles. They won something in Holland. But yeah, I do believe Manchester United will win it. I'm going to go with a score prediction of, I don't think it won't be a high scoring game. I believe it will be 2-0 Manchester United. Who scores them goals, I don't know, because they can't attack, and I just know someone will turn up for them, because that's been the history of Manchester United over the past 10 or so years. But yeah, it is what it is. I've got to watch that happen. I'm not looking forward to it for whatever team lifts the trophy. And yeah, like, sub, and share the content around, and I'll see you lots in a bit.